The story begins with a familiar feeling that many people have experienced in life. Sometimes we are always ready to help others, sacrificing our time, energy, and even our own peace just to make them happy. We believe that kindness will be remembered and that people will appreciate the help we give. But reality is not always like that. Many people only come to us when they need something and quickly walk away once their problems have been solved. From this common experience, the story unfolds into a profound lesson about setting boundaries in kindness and the importance of valuing yourself. The main character of the story is Daniel, a man living in a quiet, peaceful small town. Daniel is well known throughout the community for his kindness and his willingness to help others. Whenever someone runs into trouble, Daniel is often the first person they think of. If a bicycle breaks down, they call Daniel. If someone needs help carrying heavy items or fixing something around the house, they turn to him as well. Daniel always smiles and agrees to help without any hesitation. He believes that helping others is the right thing to do and that it makes him a better person. Because of this belief, Daniel has never really considered saying no. For him, saying yes has become a natural habit in his everyday life. However, as Daniel continued to help everyone around him, he slowly began to realize that his own life was being neglected. While he spent his days running around the town, fixing things, carrying heavy items, and solving problems for other people, the tasks in his own home were constantly being postponed. Daniel's garden remained messy. A broken window still had not been repaired, and many of his personal responsibilities kept piling up. Every evening when he returned home, Daniel felt completely exhausted. Even so, he continued to believe that one day people would remember and appreciate his kindness. But deep inside, he was beginning to feel drained and empty. It was during this time that life started to teach him an important lesson about the power of saying no, that sometimes refusing a request is not selfish at all, but a necessary way to protect your own time, energy, and well-being. One day, the sky suddenly grew dark and strong winds began sweeping through the town. People quickly rushed to secure their gardens and belongings before the storm arrived. Daniel hurried outside as well, but instead of going home to take care of his own property, he immediately went to help his friend Oliver gather the tools that were still scattered in the yard. They worked quickly, trying to cover and protect everything before the heavy rain began to fall. However, while Daniel was busy helping someone else, his own garden was left completely unattended. When the storm finally struck, the powerful wind and pouring rain destroyed almost everything in his yard. By the time the storm passed, Daniel returned home to see the damage, realizing that while he had been protecting others' belongings, he had forgotten to protect his own. After the storm, Daniel sat quietly in front of his house looking at the garden that had once been peaceful but was now a muddy mess. Wooden chairs had been knocked over, trees had been bent and broken by the wind, and many of his belongings were badly damaged. His mother walked over to him and gently placed a towel on Daniel's shoulders. She looked at the ruined garden and spoke softly. She told him that today he had helped everyone else protect their things, but he had failed to protect his own life. Her words made Daniel think deeply. As he stared at the damage around him, he began to realize something he had never truly considered before. In his effort to always be there for others, he had slowly forgotten to take care of himself and the things that mattered in his own life. For the first time, Daniel began to feel confused and wondered whether he had been living his life the right way. A strange sense of emptiness slowly grew inside him, something he had never truly noticed before. The next morning, Daniel decided to visit Mr. Harris, a wise old teacher who lived on the edge of the town. Daniel shared how tired and empty he felt, even though he had always tried his best to help everyone around him. Mr. Harris listened carefully. Then he gently pointed toward the river flowing in front of them. He explained that a river carries water that nourishes and sustains many forms of life. But if it overflows its banks and loses control, it can destroy everything around it. He told Daniel that kindness works in the same way. If a person keeps giving without setting any boundaries, they will slowly lose themselves. Mr. Harris advised Daniel to pause and think carefully before agreeing to help someone. This was an important life lesson sometimes. Saying no is not selfish. It is a necessary way to protect your own life. After his conversation with Mr. Harris, Daniel decided to try following his advice. For the first time in many years, he began to pause for a few seconds before answering whenever someone asked for his help. One afternoon, Oliver ran over and asked Daniel to help move a heavy box. Out of habit, Daniel almost agreed immediately. But then he remembered Mr. Harris's words. He glanced at the fence in front of his house, which had been broken for months and still hadn't been repaired. After a brief moment of thought, Daniel gently explained that today he needed to fix his own fence first. Even though he felt a little guilty, he chose to prioritize his own work. After turning down the request and focusing on repairing his fence, Daniel began to experience something he had not felt in a long time: the satisfaction of taking care of his own life. In just a few hours of work, the fence that had been broken for months was finally strong and secure again. As he stood there looking at what he had accomplished, Daniel felt a small but genuine sense of pride. In the days that followed, he continued the habit of thinking carefully before agreeing to help others. When a few neighbors asked him to do small tasks, Daniel politely explained that he was busy with his own work. Surprisingly, instead of feeling guilty, he began to feel lighter, calmer, and more at peace. A few days later, the sky turned gray again, and heavy rain began pouring down on the town. This time Daniel suddenly noticed that his roof had started leaking and raindrops were falling inside the house. In the past, he might have rushed out to help others first and only returned later to deal with his own problems. But this time, things were different. Daniel stood quietly for a moment, watching the water drip onto the floor, and realized that he needed to take care of his own life first. No one came knocking on his door to help him the way he had once helped them. So Daniel picked up his tools and patiently repaired the roof himself. Sometimes it takes the courage to say not today in order to protect your time, energy, and your own life. After finishing the repair, Daniel sat beneath the roof he had just fixed and felt a sense of peace he had not experienced in a long time. For the first time in many years, he realized that relying on himself could bring a very special kind of strength. As the days passed, Daniel slowly began to change the way he lived. He no longer rushed around the town, solving every problem for everyone else. Instead, he spent time caring for his garden, repairing his home, and focusing on his own life. And something unexpected happened. When Daniel began respecting his own time and energy, the people around him gradually started respecting him more as well.